Hey everyone, Miguel here. Today we're checking out a pilot's watch that, in my opinion, offers a ton of character without the luxury price tag. This is a Spitfire Type 300 automatic pilot panel AV414733 from AV8. And if you've ever been curious about pilot style watches but don't want to spend thousands, this might be one worth looking at. Now, before we get into the watch itself, a little bit more context about AV8. AV8 is known for creating aviation-inspired timepieces, heavily drawing design cues from historic aircraft, particularly British military aviation. The Spitfire collection is inspired by the legendary Supermarine Spitfire, one of the most iconic fighter planes from World War II. You'll see that influence all over this watch, not just in the name, but in the design details as well. Alright, let's get into the specs because there's a lot to break down here. The case comes in at 42mm, it's 22mm in between the lugs, 14mm thick, and it has a lug-to-lug of 50mm. So yes, this is a larger watch, and that's pretty typical for pilot watches. These were originally designed for legibility, so bigger cases just come with the territory. That said, on my 6 and 7/8 inch wrist, it actually doesn't wear as big as I expected. It definitely has presence, but it's not overwhelming. Where you really feel the size is in the thickness. It's a bit chunky, and that's something to keep in mind. The case itself is stainless steel, and I have to say the finishing here is really well done for $400. You get a really nice mix of brushing and polishing, and those transitions are clean, but what really stands out here are the small details along the side of the case. Those rivet-like accents that mimic the body of an aircraft. It's subtle, but it adds a lot of character and ties the whole aviation theme together. Up top, you got an anti-reflective coated sapphire crystal, and this is another highlight for me. It's not just clear, it actually creates some really nice distortions at certain angles, which gives the watch a bit more visual interest as you move it around. Now, the unsigned crown is a push and pull design and measures about 7.3mm, so it's nice and easy to grip and operate. Water resistance is rated at 5 ATM or 50 meters. Personally, I would have liked to see 100 meters here, but again, this isn't a dive watch, it's a pilot's watch, so it's not a deal breaker for me. Inside the watch, you're getting the Miyota 8218 automatic movement. This is a reliable workhorse movement, beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour and gets the job done. That said, if I'm being honest, I would have preferred to see something from the Miyota 9000 series here. It would elevate the overall package a bit more, but at this $400 price point, this movement makes sense. One detail I really like though is the custom rotor. When you flip the watch over, you'll see an engraved airplane on the rotor, and it's little touches like this that make you appreciate the effort that went into the design. It's those little details that make you wonder how brands like this are offering so much at this price. Now let's talk about the bracelet. It comes on a stainless steel bracelet that tapers from 22mm down to 18mm. It uses pins for sizing, which isn't my favorite, and there's no on-the-fly micro adjust or quick release spring bar, so yeah, it's a bit more on the basic side. That said, it's solid and robust. It doesn't feel cheap, but it's definitely an area where improvements could be made. And honestly, this watch really comes alive when you throw it on a strap. In this video, I paired it with an Artem strap, and not only does it make the watch more comfortable by reducing some of the weight, but I personally think it looks even better that way. Now let's get into the dial because this is where things get really fun. This particular model features a cream colored dial with a full lume camel design, and let me tell you, this thing glows like a torch. I mean, seriously, low light visibility is not an issue here at all. It's one of the strongest lume performances I've seen in this price range, and it makes the watch feel unique compared to a lot of other pilots' watches out there. You also get applied indices with Swiss Superluminova and an off-centered running second subdial, which adds a bit of asymmetry and visual interest to the layout. And if this dial isn't your thing, there are other dial options available in the lineup, which is always nice to see. Now, in terms of wearability, like I mentioned earlier on my 6 and 7/8 inch wrist, it actually wears better than I expected. It's a big watch, don't get me wrong, but it's manageable, and swapping to a strap definitely helps. Alright, let's break down the likes and dislikes, starting with the likes. The lume dial is easily the standout feature here. It's bold, it's different, and it performs incredibly well in low light. I also like the case finishing and those aviation inspired details like the rivets. It gives the watch a strong identity. The custom rotor is another nice touch. It's small, but it adds personality. And the sapphire crystal is excellent. The clarity and the way it distorts at angles just adds another layer to the experience. Now, for the dislikes. The size is definitely on the larger side, and more specifically, the thickness may be a bit much for some people. The 50 meters of water resistance, I would have preferred 100 meters for versatility. And the bracelet, while solid, is pretty basic, no micro adjust, no quick release. It just feels like an area where they could improve. But stepping back and looking at the bigger picture, for around $400, this is a really solid pilot's watch. It gives you aviation-inspired design, strong lume, good construction, and a unique detail without having to spend thousands of dollars on luxury brand alternatives. And if you're like me and you appreciate the look of pilot watches but don't necessarily want to drop that kind of money, this is a great option to consider. Also, if you enjoyed this one, make sure you subscribe because I've got a limited edition Snoopy watch from Aviate coming up soon, and trust me, that one is awesome. As always, thank you so much for watching. In the comments, let me know your thoughts on this watch. Be safe out there and stay humble.